Alright guys, I'm driving again. And again, I'm driving, but I'm only driving. Guess where? Guess where I'm only driving? I'm driving in Irvine, California. And usually when I drive, it's only like, I don't know, at the very furthest, it's going to be like maybe a 10, 15 mile radius from where I live. Why? Why you ask? For many reasons, and one of the main factors is, have you seen gas prices these days? Have you seen gas prices these days? Sorry, I had to let someone through who wasn't sure whether they were supposed to go or not. It's very arbitrary. Apparently, stop signs are very arbitrary. People still don't know how to use them. Marco Review, stop ranting about people's driving. Don't worry, we're all human. The amount of mistakes that I make when I drive is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I've just been lucky that I have had a zero track record of getting into crashes, but that's just been fortunate luck. The only time that I actually had a crash was two somebodies decided to literally just drive into the back of my vehicle. and then because it's me, I'm just probably one of the most unlucky human beings in the history of, which is why I bought an AKASO camera, because if that ever happens again, I'll have it on tape. The other two times, I didn't have it on tape, so, even if I wanted to call the insurance, to say, hey, this person should pay for the damages. Well, there's no evidence. It never happened, right? It's hearsay. Your word against whoever else, and for some reason, my word is always worth zero. It's worth zero on YouTube, but it's also has always been worth zero in real life. That's why someone that looks like me will always get bullied, will always get the short end. It's how I live. It's how I've lived 40 years. So I'm stoic. You thought that guy who was in politics was stoic. The guy who did a whole speech and had a fly on his hair. White hair, beautiful looking. You thought he's stoic. You should see me. 40 years of doors shut in my face, bullying creepy people, saying oddities and falseness about me. But I'm so used to it that it's just like, whatever. Another day in my world. Anyway, where was I? I got lost. It's crazy, right? You get lost in space, in translation, but just lost because you don't know what you were talking about before. Anyhow, let's make this a teachable moment. Anyway. Turn a bad thing into a good thing. So, there's a bunch of people out there now. And they're online and they're making this whole thing about, oh no, I don't want to be tracked by the government. Oh no, this and that and the other. It's so unsafe. I want my privacy. But when you get to my age, when you're like 40 years old and limping, you never know. You're just walking around or driving around. Anything could happen, right? Anything could happen. It could be your fault. It could be somebody who just drives into you, right? So, I never got one of those de-Googled phones or anything like that. I never got any of those de-Googled phones. I never got any of that ridiculous things. I don't turn off my tracking on my phones. I don't do any of that. Why? Because anything could happen to me at any given moment. And it's good to good to know that other people know where I am, especially the police, right? If my tracking is on my phone and I fall over and I break my leg and I'm dragging myself off on the floor like the Terminator, and I can't remember which Terminator it was. Is it Terminator 1 or Terminator 2? Anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger is on the floor and his legs exploded or something like that. Or there's another scene in another one of his movies where I think the Liquid Terminator's legs were blown off. Anyway, something like that happens to me and I'm just dragging myself across the floor. I want to know that my phone is working and that I can call 911 and that people can track my position right away and find me. So, yeah. There we have it. Now, as far as what goes on in the home, and that's a different story, right? It's a different story. You want to be free in your home. You don't want anybody to constantly be looking at what you're doing and stuff like that. I can totally understand that. But so long as I'm on the road, so long as I'm outside of the home, I want to be tracked at all times. I want to know where I am. I want to know where anybody in my family is at all times, so that if anything happens, my friends, if anything happens to them, I'm only one call away, right? And I can go help them out. They can help me out. So, de-Google phones. So all these things, right? One thing is to have like government, oversight, like extreme oversight, and the other thing is your personal safety, right? I mean, if you're a young guy or a young girl, whatever, you might not care about these things, but once you're old, right? You have responsibilities. It's not just you in this world. You might have a daughter or a son, right? You want to be around until they're of legal age and they have their own jobs and they've done their own things. And then they become responsible for themselves. But until then, you have a responsibility other than yourself. So anyway, those are my thoughts. If anybody else has thoughts, they can feel free to jump in at any time. Again, there is absolutely no pressure. I don't make these videos because I want other people to, do this, that, and the other. You have your own brain, you have your own thoughts, you do what you want. But if you participate, you're going to put a smile on my face. That's pretty much all you're going to get. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.